Former Indiana Governor Otis Bowen has passed away. Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner joins me for Monday with the Mayor, and sports with Kurt Guxell. Those stories and much more are up next here on 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin our newscast with some sad news. Former Indiana Governor Otis Bowen passed away Saturday evening at the Catherine Casper Life Center in Donaldson in Marshall County. He was 95 years old. Bowen spent 14 years in the Indiana House and served 3 consecutive sessions as Speaker of the House, the first lawmaker to ever do so, according to the Indiana State Archives. Bowen first sought the GOP nomination in 1968, but lost out to Edgar Whitcomb, who went on to serve 1 term as Indiana's governor. Bowen was elected as governor of Indiana in 1972 and served 8 years as governor, becoming the first Indiana governor to be re-elected since the 1800s. Indiana passed a constitutional amendment in 1972, which allowed for governors to serve consecutive terms. His legacy includes a tax restructuring program that increased the sales tax in order to pay for property tax cuts. Bowen would go on to say in his later years that the state legislature had acted to diminish that program and that he regretted not making it tougher to undo. Current Indiana Governor Mike Pence says Bowen's contributions to the life of Indiana, as well as America as a whole, are incalculable, and that Pence marks Bowen's passing with a sense of personal loss. In other news, a DuBois man was treated for injuries before being arrested after being involved in a one-vehicle accident last night where he was found to be intoxicated. Just before 9 o'clock, Indiana State Police were called to the area of 5900 East State Road 56 for the report of a one-vehicle crash with injury. Police say 23-year-old Luke Kern of DuBois was traveling westbound when his pickup truck left the north side of the road, overcorrected, and then hit an earth embankment. Kern was not wearing his seatbelt, therefore his head hit the windshield. Kern was transported by ambulance to Jasper Memorial Hospital for treatment of minor head injuries. While at the hospital, police requested that Kern would be tested for intoxication. The preliminary results from the test showed that Kern had a blood alcohol content of 0.27%, well more than 3 times the legal limit. After being treated at the hospital, Kern was transported to the DuBois County Jail without incident. Kern's pickup was a total loss. A Jasper man was arrested yesterday evening following an incident with a sheriff's deputy while driving under the influence. DuBois County Sheriff's deputies say a deputy was traveling eastbound on State Road 164 near Riverside Drive just after 7:20 p.m. last night when deputies say a black 2003 Dodge Ram driven by 45-year-old Robert Tinkle of Jasper, who was traveling westbound, crossed the center line, causing the deputy to move out of her lane of travel. The deputy caught up to Tinkle and pulled him over near State Road 164 and 3rd Avenue in Jasper. Deputies say Tinkle was found to be under the influence of alcohol during the traffic stop. Tinkle also had a juvenile passenger, who was not identified, in his vehicle at the time of the stop. Tinkle was lodged in the DuBois County Security Center, where he was later released on bond. He faces a Class D felony for operating while intoxicated with a minor passenger. The Jasper Police Department assisted at the scene. Tomorrow, the Evansville Vet Center will be opening a new location in Huntingburg to address the needs of veterans in DuBois and surrounding counties with a specific focus on readjustment counseling. Dave Englert with the Department of Indiana Marine Corps League explains.
We'll have a counselor up there on Tuesdays from noon to 6, starting on May the 7th. What this does is it allows readjustment counseling, marriage counseling, PTSD help, and assistance to our local veterans.
Englert says the eligibility for the center will include those veterans with campaign medals as well as families of veterans. He says the center will be a huge help to veterans in the area and talks a little bit about the impact of having such a center for local veterans.
For a lot of us veterans, we had no idea these services were even available. It's especially important in a rural area like the Jasper, DuBois County area, simply because a lot of our veterans come home. They come home alone. They don't have the huge group welcomings like the National Guard had when they came home. They come home ones or twos, and sometimes our veterans don't fully come home.
For more information or to make an appointment for counseling at the new center, call the Evansville Vet Center at the number listed on your screen. Finally tonight, on Saturday, the Vincennes University Jasper campus held its commencement ceremony for students that were eligible to graduate. This year's commencement marked the first time that 2 ceremonies were necessary for commencement. The first ceremony began at 10 a.m. and the second ceremony began at noon. Prior to ceremonies on Saturday, VUJC Dean Dr. Alan Johnson said that this year's class was representative of the VUJC student body as a whole.
Graduating class is typical of our overall demographic. We have students ranging in age from 20 on up to past 50. We have people who are parents and grandparents. We have people who are their first generation in their families to earn a college credential, and we're just thrilled when we can go through this kind of celebration with them and their families.
Johnson says each student has a unique story and their success is certainly worth celebrating. 196 degrees in total were conferred on Saturday, including 15 bachelor's degrees. Degrees were awarded in areas of study ranging from law enforcement and social work to business administration and general studies. Coming up after the break, Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner joins me for Monday with the Mayor. Plus, rain chances remain in place in your local forecast, sports with Kurt Guxell, and Inform featuring rain barrels with Chad Mundy with the Jasper Stormwater Department and Judy Brown with SWCD. That's all coming up next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.